Hello, I'm Dr. Paul Fitzgerald. Recently, I had the honor of sharing with a conference sponsored by the Brain Injury Association of Kansas and Greater Kansas City. The participants included both trauma brain injury survivors and their caregivers. The conference theme was, "Now that you've survived, how do you thrive?" They requested that I share about the healing potential of meditation for both survivors and families, as well as some of my work in helping now thousands of people experience life transformation from the impact of internalized shame that's trauma-induced. The conference was not recorded, and several wanted more information. This video is essentially what I shared with the group. I will record and share some of the experiential tools that I shared with them about a particular approach to meditation, and I'll put links in the notes of this process. Obviously, I'm not offering medical advice in this presentation. Whether you're a traumatic brain injury survivor or a caregiver, you know the weight of the question about survival. Survival and thriving are two different things, and survival is no small feat. But thriving? Well, that's where transformation begins. So let's explore how meditation can be a life-changing practice for both survivors and caregivers. This isn't just a kind of a feel-good idea. It's really backed by science and real-world experience. One of the first questions I get is, well, what are the benefits if I do it? Well, imagine if I told you that by dedicating 30 minutes a day in meditation, you could enhance emotional intelligence. You could reduce stress. You could experience sharper mental clarity and less fog. You could have improved brain function and deeper, more compassionate connections with other people. Would you say it's worth the effort? Research suggests that it is. Consistent meditation delivers measurable results over time. Some people almost immediately feel more relaxed with reduced anxiety. Many, within 2 to 6 weeks, notice better emotional regulation and mental clarity. And then 3 to 6 months, different people experience very measurable changes, actually, even in brain structure and function. Now, meditation is not a quick fix, but it is a proven method for long-term thriving. I want to share 4 key assumptions about meditation that I believe are really important to understand. I've been involved with meditation for probably 40 years. I've used different kinds of meditation across the years, and I want to recommend one form particularly that I believe is very appropriate for this particular group of people. To truly understand the power of meditation, these 4 assumptions. The first one is life-giving and life-forwarding energy is innate in life, all life. Every person is born with an inherent drive to grow and thrive. Call it energy, spirit, curiosity, hope. It's the force that moves us from potential to possibility. In nature, it's present in every seed and in every living plant and animal, and it energizes life-forwarding responses to its environment and all of its environmental changes. In humans, it is innate and inherently present at birth and energizing life-forwarding responses to physical and emotional environment. In humans, it's a source of growth and resilience. Watching my bonus grandson's life-forwarding energy when he was striving to touch those little squeeze toys hanging over him while he was on the changing table or with his diaper. And if he touched one and squeezed it and made a noise, it was fantastic. By the way, digestion, and kidney functions are innate life-forwarding expressions. And then he wanted to turn over. And then he began to crawl. And then he wanted to walk. Those all express life-forwarding energy. By the way, have you noticed that children don't really think that falling is such a big deal? At my age, it is. At age 3, I heard, why? Why, Pop-Pop? Over and over and over. Not as a challenge, but as life-forwarding curiosity. At age 4, I heard was, I can do it, Pop-Pop. And now at age 5, it's Pop-Pop, I can do it all by myself. A life-forwarding energy. The second assumption, trauma stalls and stops life-forwarding energy. Physical and emotional trauma disrupts this natural life-forwarding energy. It turns our belief from I can do it into I can't do it well enough to be okay. Trauma impacts us more deeply when it's unresolved. And often, the second thing that happens after the event that we call trauma can be more impactful than the event itself. For instance, a child who falls and scrapes their knee might feel comforted and safe if their caregiver acknowledges the pain, helps them heal, kisses the boo-boo, and encourages them to go back out and play again. They go back out and play wiser and feeling safe enough to risk having more fun. But if the caregiver belittles the child, dismisses their hurt, tells them something that sounds like, oh, you're going to get hurt playing, just get back out there and play. The wound, both physical and now the emotional, remains unresolved. This child maybe go back and play, but now they play cautiously, hurting emotionally and not wanting to get hurt again physically. Their I can do it energy becomes I can't do it well enough, and protecting themselves from risks and to being vulnerable and to humiliation and shame becomes a priority. In fact, it shows up later in life. Sometimes when we're triggered later in life, we go back to the same coping skills we developed earlier in life. Sometimes even we revert back to the same cognitive skills that we had at an earlier point in life. Sometimes, and I know you've seen it in other people, it's always easier to see in them, they revert back to like they're a teenager or a child throwing a temper tantrum when normally they are easygoing people. A trigger. Here's an important truth. No one can shame and wound you more deeply than someone from whom you expect to receive love and support. Now, TBI survivors and their families and their caregivers know trauma from inside out. Compounding the traumatic event is the medical trauma that they've experienced. It brings a profound disruption to their expectations and predictions of the future. The sense of being powerless to change some aspects of life ever again is one that we probably despise the most. Feeling powerless brings a deep sense of shame. It robs us of the predictability we had before the trauma. Our brain and mind crave predictability and the sense of safety that it gives us. Trauma often distorts a distinction between negative possibilities and probabilities, and erodes our sense of being safe. Many of us have experienced and ourselves, and we've experienced other people, the sense of rage. Many people look at rage as if it is all about anger. I'm going to suggest that my experience is that rage is an event that happens today that takes us back to a previous time where we felt really, really powerless. And we promised we would never let that happen again. And when it happens today again, we feel like we've got to prove we're not powerless. And we overcompensate for it. Some of us rage by putting holes in walls. Some of us rage by putting holes in our own heart. That's just as dangerous. The third premise. Trauma reactions become predictable reactions. Trauma doesn't just fade, it becomes embedded in our bodies, our minds. It creates predictable responses. These reactions often feel automatic, triggered by certain situations, sounds, sights, feelings, and often outside of our conscious awareness. Our neurological system can be triggered to change our emotional state without us making a choice. After it happens, we can look around and say, well, that caused it, or they caused it, or this situation caused it. But the truth is, we can be triggered into a different emotional state, fight, flight, or collapse, by not making a choice, but outside our conscious awareness. For example, a TBI survivor might respond warmly to certain other people, but then be dismissive toward their caregiver. This isn't about blame. It's a structured reaction stemming from unresolved trauma. To heal, we need to go beyond managing symptoms and address the deeper causes. 4. Our bodies keep the score, and our body also knows the score. Until recently, it was assumed by everyone in any part of the mental health field that learned trauma responses and reactions were hardwired in our brain. Now, new research has discovered that trauma responses can be rewired, that is, removed, deleted, without relapse. It's done through a process called memory reconsolidation. Learned trauma reactions can actually be removed and replaced. It doesn't erase the original memory, but the triggering is gone. This process releases emotional blocks and restores life-forwarding energy, allowing us to reconnect with our potential. That's really a big deal, and it should be a source of great hope for all of us. I shared 2 tools for thriving. The first one was a tool called inner relationship focusing. Inner relationship focusing is a practice of reconnecting with your body's wisdom, that life-forwarding energy, and creating a respectful inner dialogue. Here are 6 steps that I walked people through to try. The first one was to begin to shift language from I'm angry, or I'm hurt, or I'm sad, to something in me feels angry, hurt, or sad. This creates a space between you and the emotion. Second, place a gentle hand on the part of your body where you feel that emotion. It's often here in the middle of your body. And just say, hello. You're just acknowledging the feeling without any judgment. Third, stay present with the feeling and ask internally, what do you need from me right now? In a non-judgmental, respectful way, like you're developing an inner relationship with those feelings. And then 4, expand your language a bit. I'm sensing that something in me feels angry. By doing that, you can recognize that you are more than the emotion. And sometimes it shifts. Sometimes it reduces, as if it's saying to you, oh, you're paying attention to me. I don't have to be as violent as I was. And 5th, practice some self-compassion. As you reflect on it, allow yourself to say to yourself, well, no wonder I feel this way. No wonder I struggle with various issues. It's just a matter of acknowledging your past reactions with kindness, without judgment. And 6th, Thank your body for communicating with you. As I said, emotions often shift when we give them space to be acknowledged. A mentor of mine says it this way: every bad feeling is on its way to be a good feeling if we give it space to breathe and be. This process helps release emotional blocks and allows our innate energy to begin to flow freely. I'll put a link above here and in the notes for a video and resources about focusing. The second tool is called the Wheel of Awareness. The Wheel of Awareness meditation model was developed by Dr. Daniel Siegel. It's a model designed to foster emotional integration and resilience. This model is an integral part of his approach to restoring a sense of well-being through restoring what he calls the triangle of integration. That is, integration of our mind and our brain, and relationships. The second tool is called the Wheel of Awareness. The Wheel of Awareness was developed by Dr. Daniel Siegel. It's a meditation model designed to foster emotional integration and resilience. This model of meditation is an integral part of his approach to restoring a sense of well-being through restoring what he calls the triangle of integration. That is, a triangle of mind, brain, and relationships. Because we are deeply interconnected, we need that connection with other people. The model includes the mind, where the flow of thoughts and feelings that shape how we respond to life. The brain, the physical structure enabling adaptability and emotional stability. And then relationships, the connections that influence our mental and emotional well-being. The Wheel of Awareness offers a structured way to explore these aspects of our experience. It helps create balance and fosters healing after trauma. During the presentation, I led the group through several exercises to give them the experience of both inner relationship focusing and the Wheel of Awareness. I'll put a link in the notes for several other videos that I'm developing and resources about both of these. So let me conclude. Meditation is more than a stress relief technique. It's a way to reconnect with your life-forwarding energy, to heal from trauma, and to move from strive from. In conclusion, let me conclude this way. Meditation is more than a stress relief technique. It's a way to reconnect with your life-forwarding energy, to heal from trauma, and to move from surviving to thriving. For TBI survivors and caregivers, the journey is not easy, but it is possible. You've already shown incredible strength in surviving. Now it's time to embrace the tools that will help you thrive. Remember, the path to thriving starts with small, consistent steps. You can contact me by email at drpaul@pauldfitzgerald.com. I offer a free strategy session online to discuss my services and how they might meet your needs. There's a link on my website, www.pauldfitzgerald.com, that you can use to schedule that meeting. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Threads, and I just joined Blue Sky after leaving X, the old Twitter. I look forward to meeting several of you and being able to serve you and help you move beyond the trauma that's got you trapped. Thank you.